Hi everybody, welcome. It's Sunday Racing. We're out at Hollywood Bets Scottsville. We've got our program up for you now. Daryl Murray joins me with Darren Burrows, and we'll talk about the card. We're on Twitter at Weighted to Win. We're also on, WhatsApp, all that stuff, YouTube, Full Racing, and everything else that goes with it. And we're very excited to also let you know that Weighted to Win, through a recent survey, got some very high ratings in terms of the guys and the team and the show, and we really do appreciate the support that we continue to get from the sport of horse racing, for which of course we're also passionate about. Well, the first is over 1,400 metres. Is the bookmakers on Friday were pricing up this horse number 7, the Africa House, where Sean Terry's going to Durban. You'll see a lot of the Joburg guys and now Cape Town guys going into KwaZulu-Natal. It's that season. It's a wonderful time of the year. 15 to 10 favourite. The 6 Mystery Cachet is the second choice at 28 to 10, and it appears to be between those two, Mr. Murray, from a market perspective.
Yeah, Clyde, I didn't spend a lot of time on this race because it didn't form part of the exotics, and it's also juveniles. I'd like to watch the juveniles move down to the start, make up our mind thereafter. The Africa House, giving away 3 kilograms. Mystery Cash, there was a lot of support for him on debut. Nelson Bay could certainly close the deficit on Mystery Cash. I don't know, Clyde, perhaps Darren can help the viewers.
Yeah, maybe Darren, maybe you, the guy you ask then. What do you like, sir? Mr. Burrows, you there? Good morning. How are you, Mr. Burrows?
How's it, Clyde? Strictly on that first run of the Africa House, I thought it was one of the most impressive victories ever. Turned it on in style, won a good race. And last time out, that was a strong race, maybe just a bit one-paced, looking for the 1,400 meters. If bouncing back, I think this horse will take a power of beating. His dangers, Ermelo and Mystery Cash, I thought can get involved, as well as Nelson Bay.
Okay. Interesting one. Well, the Africa House for Darren Burrows. He says, let's start our day there with number 7 at the opener here on this Sunday afternoon. Well, Michael Roberts and Rachel Venica come up here. One of the favourites, La Prestissimo, joined up for 7-2 with his horse 5, Sea of Tears. 4-1 about number 4 on the card, who's got a chance. I guess it was Pretty Analia, is at 4-1, and 11-2 and better about the others. It's a bipot opportunity, Mr. Burrow. So, how many do we need? Leg 1.
Clyde, 3, 4, 5, and 9, my leading lights. I like a bit of Pretty Analia. Now, I liked her last time out, but the drop-in trip didn't suit her. Go to a penultimate start, course and distance. I thought that was a very good effort, staying on well behind Royal Oasis. A repeat of that in this type of company could see her in the winner's box, but I'd say good enough for the first 3. Sea of Tears, now a professional maiden, 15 starts. Consistent form, should be in the finish. La Prestissimo, she should be competitive as well. And I've got Wings, who had 26 starts, could run into the quartet.
Yeah, one of those races. So there's a number of them when you're in chances. Reminder that 11 is scratched on Friday. We know about that. That's been taken out. So Darren gone as wide as possible. Mr. Murray?
Yeah, I'll put 2 in, Clyde. I think I'll get through. I'll put the 3, La Prestissimo.
Yep.
And the 5, Sea of Tears. Now, Sea of Tears on paper, Clyde, holds 3 quite comfortably, I think by 5 lengths. But that was La Prestissimo's debut. It was over 1,000 meters. I think she's bet over 12. And she showed good improvement in her second start. So I think she's going in the right direction. It's certainly got more scope than Sea of Tears.
Sure.
Whereas Sea of Tears is going to give another bold showing because she's ultra consistent. If you like La Prestissimo, you have to include Zulu Langa, number 1, Clyde. Not much separating the two of them. And this filly hasn't quite got a clean break to date. She's always... things have gone wrong for her at the start. So Keegan DeMella hops on board again. She's certainly a trifecta inclusion.
Okay. Not an easy race by the sounds of things. Another open one. Bipots. The guys are going horses. Here's a look at the bipots then. We'll put them up for you. Now we start with Daryl. He's going 3 and 5, by 3, 6 and 8, by 10, 14 and 16, by 3 and 8, by 4, 6 and 9, and the last leg 1, 2 and 4 to 324 Rand bipot from Daryl Murray's corner. Third race on the card now. It's a handicap fillies and mares over 1750 metres. On Friday when we were doing the show, 9 Maria Carolina's top of the boards at 4-1. 3 Quiet Rebellion is 5-1. I'm starting with Daryl Marie because I want to ask him if I can back this horse Quiet Rebellion or not, because I know we've been for it for a few times. So is it ready? Can we go?
It's ready because Stu's raiding with her, so she's ready. Don't worry about that, Clyde.
Okay.
But later start, she moved up dangerously 400 metres from out. I thought she's going to contest the finish, and then her run just emptied out.
Yeah.
Penultimate start on the inside track. The race wasn't run to suit. We know they crawled and sprinted. In the 1750, they tend to go a little bit quicker, so
Yeah.
she'll be running at them. Number 6, Grand Oreki. Never in doubt when winning her maiden, Clyde. She did let the side down in the Western Cape, but the manner in which she won last time out, she could go on with it. But I'm leaning towards a bit of a roughie here in number 8, Rocky Reef. I don't think that 2,000 meters on a soft track suited her. Penultimate start, there was no pace. She's better from behind. I think she's come down to a very capable mark of 73. So she'll be given a chance. That form line's worked out well. Machete Man's won 2 from there. Virginia Sweet went to the Eastern Cape and won the Oaks. So
And Tristan Godden been riding a couple of winners, isn't he?
Don't worry
Peter
about him,
Muscat's in
Clyde.
good form, yeah. But I'm just worried, we're doing this Friday, and although we don't know, but the forecast does show rain.
Yes.
And that worries me a little bit. So, if you're saying it didn't show...
No, I said the 2,000 meters on a sticky track. I think it just caught her out.
Oh, so you don't mind that?
Yeah.
Just okay.
Coming
drop
back in
into
trip out.
okay, so it's not the softer track.
It's not the softer track.
All right. Well, I don't know. For me, if Quiet Rebellion, like horse like Ipso Factory was in here, it would be 6-10. But what do you think, Mr. Burrows?
I like Quiet Rebellion. I think Stuart Pettigrew could have a big day. When she beat Silver Heels over 1,800, I thought that was a solid effort because Silver Heels is above average. I did speak to Warren about Miles Princess, and he fancied her strongly in her last 2 starts, and she won. Rachel Venica gets on very well with this horse, and if the track's sticky, this horse loves the soft. So 3 and 4 to fight it out, and I have healthy respect for Grandi Oretti on that last victory.
Okay, thanks, Darren. I want to put your perms up now. You've got a PA worked out, 3, 4, and 6 by 6, 10, 13, and 16. Banker 3 later on, then 4 and 7, then 2, 4, 6, 8, and 9 by Banker 11. So there are 2 bankers in Darren Burrows' place accumulator, and the last leg is going with both 1 and 2. It's a 240 Rand perm. He's willing to spend that. Daryl Marie's idea about a place accumulator this Sunday looks like this: 3, 6, and 8 by 10, 14, and 16 by 3 and 8 by 4, 6, and 9 by 1, 2, 4 by 2 and 11. And then the very last leg of his place accumulator, he says, let's bank a shoe fella, which is number 2, and spending 324 Rand. Race number 4 on the card, number 5, or number 6, I beg your pardon, Mercantor's top of the boards at 5-1. Number 9, Sheldon, is at 8-1. I'm not sure if this market's right. 10, Love in Winters, 8-1. 8-1 about number 16, Beechamwood Boy, and 10-1 and better about the others. I'll start with you if I can, Daryl. Mercantor's got the 62 on the back. It's going over the 1,100 meters, but the Mercantor we know, I would have thought would be much shorter in the market. What am I missing here?
No, he's gone up a lot in the ratings.
Is that why? Is that price?
Got another 3 kilograms. I liked him in his latest 2 starts.
Yes, I
I'm
know
playing
that.
against him today.
Are you? Okay.
I just think he's...
So you agree that it should be 5-1 the
He's
field?
off a very high mark right now. So can I see him winning? Obviously. I mean, he's won well. A horse like number 14, Clyde, American Skyline. I love this horse due to the fact that he doesn't get involved in a scrimmage with a pace duel. He can just throw off the pace and pounce very late. He's got a lovely turn of foot. And added to that, Clyde, he's a bit of a Scottsville straight specialist. So Attendio will just be watching whatever unfold ahead of him and pounce late. Beechamwood Boy, this horse has really turned the corner since being gelded. Now, I know that he got the maximum £8 penalty last time out, Clyde. But if you recall, Keegan DeMello started easing him down. 100 meters from home, so he could have trotted up
Canted him.
by 6 or 7 lengths.
Yeah.
And then your good friend Rakesh Sugalam
Yes.
has now bought number 10, Love in Winter. I thought that was a lovely introduction in the KZN province, because you know who was in that race? Isi Vungu Vungu. Now he contests the computer form sprint on Saturday. Irrespective of that outcome,
Yeah.
this horse ran extremely well, and he's needed those 2 comeback runs. So 52
well be a
kilograms,
runner.
Clyde. This horse has to go into all perms.
Okay, so Combi left out the 10 Love in Winter. That's priced up at 8-1. That's the current ask. And there are some decent ones in there. You heard Beechamwood Boy, Love in Winter. Darren, I guess, but knowing Morcantor, I know he's got top weight. I know he's got to carry it. He's got to prove it. But he's a horse that can turn it on. That's a horse with a lot of ability. It'll be one of his tougher tests. An African Skyline, I guess, as Darryl alluded to. He's got a chance with no weight. What do you make of it, sir?
Clyde, I found the value with my first choice is Former Gear from the Peter Muscat stable. Now, this horse shows the world at home. He came to Cape Town and he ran below par. They seem to have got him back on track now. That last run on the Poly, he was drawn deep at 10. He was absolutely flying home down the outside. I think this track and trip, 52 kilos, receiving 10 kilos from Morcantor. I think Former Gear is going to run a massive race. Of the rest, Beechamwood Boy done absolutely nothing wrong since his gelding. He trotted up last time out. Love in Winter, 52 kilos to shoulder. He's a quality racehorse. He started his career late. He's lightly raced, more to come. Coin Spinner and Mercantor have to go in. Mercantor's got a lot to do, giving most of his dangers 10 kilos.
Interesting synopsis, and thanks for pointing out that Shruti that you've found us in this particular event, and you certainly will watch out for it. And in terms of what you like from your selections, it's a pick 6, Darren Burrows. That's what his pick 6 looks like, as you can see, guys. So race number 4, he's gone a lot of horses. Then the second leg of the pick 6, he wants to banker number 3, Winter Cloud. Looks hard to beat. It's an even money favourite. Then horses, then field. And then we're bankering the 11 in the second last leg. That horse, Noble City, who's priced up at 17-10 on the Friday. And then the last race, Darren Burrows making it a match race. 1 Bronze Sword and the 2 Shoe Fella. An affordable perm at $560. So don't forget to follow Weighted to Win on social media. We have some platforms like Twitter, for example, at Weighted to Win's our handle. We've got our WhatsApp group that's going already for you on that number. Just send your name and your email address to the admin department and they'll add you to our WhatsApp group. And always lovely to be engaging with you. This is the Strelitzia. It's a Group 3. It's the start of the KwaZulu-Natal season, champion season, the winter season, the season that ultimately tells all now. This is where we're at, and it's over 1,100 metres. And Winter Cloud, Candice Bass Robinson and Aldo De Meo, I'm sure we'll see lots of them out KwaZulu-Natal way. They top the boards, Darren. They're even money favourite, and they look very hard to beat here.
Definitely, Clyde. If I had to say the most impressive juvenile filly I've seen this season, it's got to be Winter Cloud. She absolutely trotted up in the nursery. Her maiden win was super impressive, and it's her first run in the province after a short break. If not in need of this one run back, I think she'll absolutely pulverize them. Her danger is the stable companion, the Charleston, but got a bit of work to do to beat Winter Cloud.
Okay, so those are the two, the Charleston at the moment and Winter Cloud that dominate from the Bass stable. They look to battle it out, but preference for Winter Cloud.
Yeah, like Darren says, she has really been super impressive in all 3 of her starts today, Clyde. This filly on debut was low flying in the latter stages. But you know what? If you want to strictly go on paper, have a look at the Charleston, Clyde. She's beaten Winter Cloud. I know it was Winter Cloud's debut, but she's beaten her and she's a kilogram better off on the Raskover run. The Charleston herself has done very little wrong. She showed an exceptional turn of foot last time out when being dropped out.
Yeah.
Come to the inside from a hard draw.
Sure.
They're both travelling to KZN, having their first run at Scottsville. Winter Cloud certainly the filly to beat on what she's shown to date. But I respect the Charleston, so I just went the safe route, Clive.
Just both. Okay. All right. Well, it'll be interesting to see how it all plays out as to who's the better. And I noticed that there aren't any ratings on them. It's just obviously don't have any particular ratings. You haven't got any ratings applicable to them, not yet, obviously. So we don't know what the handicap is thinking. But I would imagine you'll have Winter Cloud ahead of the Charleston on ratings. Let's take a look at what the plan is in this event. In terms of the Strelitzia, Darren says, let's banker Winter Cloud by 4, 6, 7, 9 by field and banker the 11 at the back. It's a 40 Rand jackpot. Take it once, maybe take it twice. Right, we're on to more feature races now and take a look at what's going on out the part of the world. This is the Godolphin Barb Stakes. It's a Group 3 event and we have an odds-on favourite. The market's got this horse odds-on, Darren. Number 4, Outlaw King, priced up at 8 to 10 to win.
Yes, Clyde. I know he's been super impressive to date, but I do believe he's a horse looking for 1,400. So the drop back to 1,100 is not ideal. But how impressive was he in both his starts? Last time out, he absolutely trotted up. But that form line, have a look at it. I don't think it stood up at all. Zumi ran unplaced in his next start, I think, and the rest. So I've included others. The Abdicator got a massive reputation. He did run a bit below par in the nursery and his run before that. But on his debut performance, he really looked like a smart sort. Warrior of Royalty, the local runner, he was very impressive last time out. And I think he'll be very competitive, even though it's a strong field. And the filly in the race, Golden Tatiana, got beat by Winter Cloud in the nursery. She's got solid form to her name. So all of 4, 6, 7, and 9, I've played the safe route. But let's hope Outlaw King can show his class.
Yeah, let's see. It must be a very decent horse. Outlaw King's done, well, what? Absolutely faultless to date, this horse.
Very impressive, Clyde. I think he did improve in his second start because you can see he beat Zumi by 2 lengths on debut. And he beat him by nearly double that distance. So he certainly made good improvements. You can't fault him.
Are you also worried about dropping in distance, though? No, not. Or
no, I just think he's a little bit short in the market. I'll make him the horse to beat, but
not 8 to 10.
The Abdicator, I think, has run below par in his last 2 starts. Very highly rated. If you have a look at him, he's bumped Golden Tatiana twice, and she's got the better of him on both occasions. The first time by 3 lengths, then by 1.25 lengths. She does get that 6 allowance, and she's very, very good.
So we make her the one to beat them.
The stable will have a line with, well, Brett Crawford's stable will have a line with Zumi and the Abdicator. In my opinion, if you have to ask him if the Abdicator is better than Zumi, I'm sure he would say yes. So, healthy respect for the Abdicator and Golden Tatiana.
Yeah, you say Golden Tatiana's got the better of...
Twice, yeah.
Twice, yeah. So that's interesting. All right, well... That throws it open a little bit. Just depends how much Outlaw King has still got to come. And Darren Burrows, hits a nerve there to say that last form line, nothing's come to win. That's the worry. But sometimes you get very good horses that, overcome that obstacle. Let's take a look at what the plan is for this race, where Darryl's going 4, 6, and 9 in his jackpot, by 1, 2, and 4, by 2, 10, and 11, by 1, 2, 5, and 6, and spending 108 Rand. Let's move on now. We'll take a look at our next event on the card. This is where Marigold Hotel, number 2 on the card, tops the boards. Darren at 3 to 1, 6 Alula Stars 4 to 1. Stewie Pettigrew's taken a few out there this Sunday afternoon. 1 Maharani's at 11 to 2, and number 3 Amina is trading at 11 to 2. They've got 7 to 1 about 4 Bevy's Delight, and then 8 to 1 and better about the others. Let's chat about the race, Mr. Burrows. Give me an idea as to what we need to do in a race like this. This, of course, from a graded perspective, is the Dennis Dreyer Poinsettia Stakes. It's good to see them name a race in Dennis Dreyer's honour. How open is it?
Very open. I mean, if you're looking past the first couple in the betting, it becomes very open. I like the Raider, Alula's Star. Now, last time out, I labelled Kiss Me Captain. And this, I thought, a bit unlucky, Kiss Me Captain. But in saying that, Alula's Star challenged her strongly and just wouldn't lie down. I thought she fought very hard for victory, and she could follow up if taking to the Scottsville circuit. We know a lot of good horses go to Scottsville and lose their unbeaten record, that kind of thing. So let's see how she goes at Scottsville. I think she's the horse to beat. Marigold Hotel placed in a grade 1 last time out. The 1200 is a bit sharp for her. Bevy's Delight interests me a bit. I think this is the ideal trip for her. She did run just off them in the Fillies Championship. She showed ability. Maharani, let's see if she can bounce back. It's wide open, but I thought a Lula Star should be right there.
Okay, so maybe a Lula Star, the horse to beat in a race like this, Mr. Marie?
You know, Clyde, sometimes I always watch replays, and I've got a little black book and I put names down. Bevy's Delight was one of them. Have you watched that replay, Clyde?
I saw it. Unbelievable.
Yeah, I thought
I saw it. Never got to run
That's
at all.
exactly what
eh?
I wrote down. I said, unbelievable return.
Did you use those words?
Yes.
Yes.
There we go. Unbelievable.
Unbelievable, right.
Yes,
Sure.
but my only concern is she's out at the weights, Clyde.
Oh.
So she's not well treated. The best weighted of here is Marigold Hotel, a net 110. Bevy's Delight is a net 98. So that's 12 pounds or 6 kgs. But she's a lightly raised 3-year-old. I think she needed some time off the track, strengthened up. And she could certainly give them a scare of a year despite being out at the weights, Clyde. Because I was very impressed with the comeback run. Maharani, I think a lot hinges on whether she breaks well. Because we know she was due to run midweek at Turfentine on Thursday. They took her out with this race in mind. She's well in of year. She showed a nice run in her second run after rest, Clyde. She really ran well on that occasion. She just needs a clean break, and we know she's certainly got the ability. We know what Maharani is capable of. But I think this track and trip, I know Marigold Hotel's probably a 7 furlong filly, but this is a stiff 6 furlong. She'll be staying on very, very stoutly, and she's super fit and she's best weighted. So I'm going 2, 1, 4 in that order.
Okay. Well, the value in the race, Bevy's Delight, 7-1 at the moment. We picked up what happened there, and maybe Marigold Hotel, if it's not too short for her, well, then she's a massive runner. There are quite a few. Darren Burrows making reference to a Lula Star, number 6. So there are a few in this race. All right. Well, let's take a look at selections. Race 7 from the boys. We're going Daryl Marie's pick 3. How your pick 3's been doing? They landing? Have you been collecting the last few?
You know how this game goes.
Yeah.
But they will be landing on Sunday.
Okay, good. 1, 2, and 4 here by 2, 10, and 11 by 1, 2, 5, and 6. Right, race 8. Let's get on to a handicap. It's at the 90 level. It's run over the mile. From a market perspective, just to have a look at what the story is here, they've got 17-10 Darren About, Peter Muscat's 11 Noble City, and Richard Faree's riding that. Peter Muscat, for me, one of the better around. His horsemen, a family that go back a long time in racing, and I think if they give the green light on this horse, Noble City, who's not well drawn, then I think we can have a little bit of a go. What do you make of it, sir?
Clyde, you get those horses that give you goosebumps when they race, and this horse is one of them for me. On debut, he absolutely trotted up. In his second start, he should have won. If the gaps opened, he would have been unbeaten to this point. Last time out, he absolutely trotted up when stepped up in trip, and the mile's going to suit him down to the ground. Take note, he was entered for the Durban July. That's what they think of him. So even though he's got 60 kilos to shoulder, if he overcomes the draw, I think we're going to see a big run.
Yeah. And the kind of acceleration, when you watch him, he stays on the lead, kept going, kept finding, just gave the impression that, he won with quite a bit of ability, this horse. So how do you rate this horse, Noble City?
Yeah, he won with authority, Clyde. You can judge how a horse is travelling by the jockey's actions or whatever, and going through the 600, you knew that this horse was going to take a power beating last time out, because Richard had that racing control from the jump. Lovely sort. Clyde, just tricky draw to overcome, but he's got Richard Free in the iron. So certainly I'll make him the horse to beat. Kitchikal, I thought very disappointing in the Bali Turk, but there were several that disappointed in that race, Clyde. Two others being Cousin Casey and Jimmy Don. And I actually think he's a nice horse. Should get the run of the race. I'm expecting him to finish in the money at least. And then this horse, number 10, Ponto Pietro. I touch on this all the time. He goes down, he's usually sweating terribly, doesn't move, doesn't throw those legs out. But just keep your eye on him because, I mean, he gets a lot of weight from the favourite, 7 kilograms. I'd like to see how he moves down to the starts and then thereafter make up my mind. But I have to go in order 11 to 10.
Yeah, I think 11. I think you're right. I'm just worried about that particular form line with reference to Ponte Pietro. Nothing's come out of there yet. But let's see how things plan out. Noble City, if it's not the draw, if it's not a problem, well, the 9's out, just by the way, so it's a 10-horse field. Oh, so Squishy's not running anymore. Here's the plan in our second or penultimate of the afternoon, out at Hollywood Bets, Scottsville, Maritzburg, and Darren Burrows says, let's go with Noble City, and I guess we tend to agree with that. Well, this is an interesting last race. It's the Hollywood Bets Bright Future Maiden Plate over mile. And from a market perspective, Shoefella number 2's top of the boards at 22 to 10. One Bronze Sword is 28 to 10. And then you've got Cash Cavell thereafter, number 5 is trading at 7 to 1. But market-wise, form-wise, all of that wise, it does appear to be the 2 horses. So, Darren, I think what's interesting is that the Bronze Sword form has been working out really well. I must say that much. But Shoefella, your first choice?
I'm split between the 2 of them, Clyde. You know, I used to always rate courses and provinces. And I always thought like Turffontein and Kenilworth I would rate as a Class 1 track. And then Scottsville like a Class 2, according to how good the horses performed. But then I saw KZN horses improve. They came to Cape Town and they actually cleaned up with a handful of runners. So KZN form has really strengthened in the last season or 2. So you got Shoefella he ran in Cape Town. His best run to date was 3rd behind Montien in Cape Town. I thought that was a solid effort over a mile. And last time out, he just couldn't get to the Cape Town Raiders San Pedro. Then you got Bronze Sword with high fault form. And he's run off National Star, who's franked the form. Breeze over, maybe the 18 stretching him a bit. So the mile's going to be ideal. I couldn't split the 2, but you know, normally you get that big pool quartet for the last race of the weekend. I think we have a big chance of catching it.
That may well be the case. Positive Attitude and Quantifier, obviously now, you know, they represent the Bronze Sword form and they would have chances in a race like this, I would imagine. But Darren, spot on. Even a horse that I picked up on here that Samanga Kamal is now riding, Cash Cavell, he gets the ride on it. I see that also Radicio, I think it was, that runner-up that came out and won, might have a bit of a chance. What do you make of it?
Yeah, I'll give him a chance, Cash Cavell, number 5, Clyde. Last time out, he had these 2 runs with the blinkers, or no, the cheek pieces, Clyde. He's been drawn wide on both of them, and they've used him in the early stages, and especially in his last start, he was over racing because he had that worst draw to overcome. He's well drawn over here. He's got that early toe, so I don't think he has to be pressurized very early, and he could come out a bit softer and relax up front. So I can certainly see him winning. Shoefella. Fair return on the polytrack last time out. I think he's a much better turf horse. Darren's touched on those form lines in the Western Cape. They're certainly by far the strongest form represented over here. He's going to strip fitter. So I think he is going to be the horse to beat. But I respect Bronze Sword. I respect, number 6, Zabadak, because he's only... a length or so behind the favourite, or 2 lengths, and he looked extremely well in the Canter Pass last time out. I'm going to say Shoefella, very hard to beat though, Clive.
So I guess from a perspective of the race, it's not easy. I want to thank Rosh, brought us donuts. Have a donut there.
Thank you, Clive.
Well done, that's very nice.
Great
Thanks,
stuff.
Rashi, for
Thank
the
you,
donuts. Leave one for Ricky and Dylan and everybody else that's part of it. We're going to have one of these, and Darren Burrows will send one to you as well, don't worry. Here's what we're going to do. Let's take a look quickly at the last race selections in terms of what we want to play here. Please, guys, and we're going like this. Quartet 1 and 2 by 1 and 2 by field, and that cost 144 Rand. Thanks for watching Waited to Win. Hope it's been a good week. We look forward to the next.